Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. Your two favorite degenerate sports gamblers on the internet are back. The very first ever standalone episode of Maloney's Moneyline. That is right, folks. It's week 15 of Maloney's Moneyline on the Brew Party podcast. You saw it earlier this week. On Wednesday, we dropped our episode with the one and only DJ Storytime. So we are moving to a new schedule. When we do our interviews at the beginning of the week on Mondays, those will be dropped on Wednesday now as far as the audio goes. Keep it a little bit shorter, easier for everybody to consume all at once. And then Maloney's Moneyline will be our go-to episodes every Friday. We will be adding in guests here as well to make picks with us and talk about whatever we want to talk about. Let's bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Maloney. How you doing,
Hello.
buddy?
Doing well. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. 4-4 last week, but the last 2 weeks were 11-5, so not bad.
Not bad at all, my friend. Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. I mean, you went 7-1 2 weeks ago, but then you finish up with 4-4 this last week. Definitely not what you were hoping for, I'm sure. Let's get into last week. We'll start there. So let me pull up the records here. So we both missed on Seattle. -3 is our favorite. They just got smacked around by the Buffalo Bills. Ryan's underdog of the week hits for the 10th time, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan is 10-4 when picking his Scooby-Doo underdog of the week on the Brew Party podcast, Maloney's Moneyline. And once again, it was the fins up Miami Dolphins, folks. Ryan, let the people know your little stat you shared with me right before this.
Yeah, so I believe, I counted quickly, but looking at the history, I am 4-0 picking the Dolphins. So fins up.
Fins up, Luke. You know the drill. 4-0 picking the Dolphins, 10-4 picking his underdog of the week. Ryan is absolutely insane when doing that. I suggest you tail him once we get to that portion of the podcast. So yeah, we're talking about last week. I go 5-3. Ryan's 4-4. So I hit on the Giants +2.5. Miami and Arizona go over 48. The only three I missed on, like I said, the Seahawks. Then we have UNC Duke under 64. That went way over. I don't really know what I was thinking there. And then Pittsburgh -13.5. For the first time all year, folks, the Dallas Cowboys have covered the spread. They avoid history. They avoid going 0-9 against the spread for the first time in NFL history. And then I also hit on BYU -3. That was like taking candy from a baby, that game on Friday. Las Vegas, the Raiders money line. And then I also had the Dolphins, but I had the Dolphins +4. And then Ryan's 4-4 week started out really hot. Florida +3.5, Notre Dame +4.5. Huge upset for Notre Dame over Clemson. We saw the storing of the field, the COVID concerns around college football now, not just because of that incident, obviously, but we will get into that a little bit later. Ryan also had Pittsburgh -3.5. He did have Notre Dame. Las Vegas, he had the Giants and Washington football team under 42.5 that just went barely over. Tampa Bay, New Orleans over 51.5 that did not go over as well. We all know we saw Tom Brady's awful performance on Thursday Night Football. But yeah, so if we're updating the records here, I have those for us really quick. So Ryan is now 63-43-2, 20 games over 500 with those two pushes, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan is staying hot. Like I said, 2 weeks ago, 7-1, 4-4. So even week last week, I 61-41-7. Not too bad for me. I am now, 2 games behind Ryan, trying to catch up there. Hopefully I can get there this week, but it is a team game, so we're happy for each other no matter the results. Obviously, unless it's a loser, then we're pissed. So our overall records, 124, 90-3, plus 25.3 units. So we are insane right now. You got somebody playing with the glass or something in the background behind you?
Sorry, no, it's Scooby. He's playing with his toy. Sorry.
I just keep hearing something. I don't know if it's me or not, but yeah, Scooby-Doo making his appearance on Maloney's money line as always. So if you were to put $100 on each one of Ryan and I's bets, if you were to put $100 on all of my bets, you'd be up $962.49. If you were to put $100 on all of Ryan's bets, you'd be up $1,569.48. Nice there, Ryan, for a total of $2,531.97. So we are currently hitting at a 57% win percentage. Not the best, but in gambling, as long as you're plus money, that is what you want to be. So let's talk about the sports world this week. I'm going to start here. Kind of the big news. We have 5 teams in the top 25 of college football that now have canceled games this week due to the coronavirus, including Alabama, including Ohio State. I actually have all of those pulled up here really quick. So the games that have been postponed or canceled this week so far: number 1, Alabama versus the LSU, go Tigers. Or number 3, Ohio State versus Maryland, and actually Tua's younger brother. Number 5, Texas A&M versus Tennessee. Number 12, Georgia versus Missouri. Number 24, Auburn versus Mississippi State. Memphis versus Navy, Air Force versus Wyoming, and UL Monroe versus Arkansas State. So like half the SEC isn't playing this week, Ryan. Not great optics.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely an issue. They kind of screwed themselves, only have one bye week to really make up games. So now the end of the season is going to be kind of up in air, and, not really sure how they're going to reschedule these games that are canceled.
Yeah, absolutely. So one big thing that we've talked about on this podcast, I believe it was last week, we got a listener comment from Grant Baker last week, pretty much saying the only thing that could stop Ohio State's CFP chances was COVID-19. And here we are, missing a game in an already shortened season where the question of strength of schedule has come into play for the Buckeyes. Do you think this is going to affect their chances at the college football playoff?
Yeah, I mean, it might. If they can't make up this game, and it's kind of on the borderline already with, having a shortened schedule and, them having to prove themselves that they still are a top 4 team. So it'll be interesting moving forward. They're going to have to blow out every team they play to, earn that last spot. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it really has any implications on Alabama or anything like that. I mean, it could for Texas A&M. Maybe they're a number 5 team in the country right now, looking for as many wins as they can get. Obviously, Kellen Mond playing very well for the Aggies right now. A listener comment from Lucas Wilson: I hate Grant Baker. Yeah, don't we all, Luke? That's kind of how it goes around here. Let's move on from college football. Our Chicago Bears are on Monday Night Football this weekend, Ryan, or not this weekend, the start of next week. I guess that's stupid. Yep. General thoughts, instant reaction before the game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really looking too forward to us being on primetime Monday Night Football, because then the whole nation gets to make fun of us because our offense right now is obviously brutal. The O-line is still an issue. Yeah, I mean, it's not pretty, that's for sure.
Does it make you feel any better that we are going up against primetime Kirk Cousins?
A little bit, honestly. He's definitely one of the most overpaid quarterbacks in the league, but I'd probably take him over Foles right now, that's for sure.
Hot take. So Dalvin Cook has been absolutely insane these past 2 weeks. I have his stats pulled up here. Let me grab those really quick. So against the Packers, I'm sorry. He has 30 carries, 163 yards for 3 touchdowns, adds 2 receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown. And then if we go to his game last week in the Minnesota Vikings 34-20 win over the Detroit Lions, Cook rushes 22 times for 206 yards and 2 touchdowns. Absolutely insane last 2 weeks. He's probably the hottest player in football right now. Ryan, can the Bears stop him?
That should be interesting. I think we're strong enough to be able to limit him a little bit, but a player like that, you're not just going to stop completely. But I'm curious to see how we'll handle that.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw them do a pretty okay job against Derrick Henry last week. It wasn't like he was breaking off big runs. I think he did have one that was 26 yards or something like that. I believe that was his longest run. But other than that, they were limiting him to short carries for sure. I'll be interested to see how this defense hold up. What can our offense do in this game to kind of light a fire under their ass? I mean, the Vikings secondary, as we've heard from Gabe Flayton on this show, is not very good. How can Nick Foles attack that secondary?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of going to come down to him getting a few chances where he can, take his time back there and not have a rush every single play. But I mean, it is going to be interesting because, like you said, the secondary for the Vikings is not the best. So, just quick passes because he's not going to have a lot of time back there. So quick, short passes and just drive down the field.
Absolutely. Got a couple of listener comments from Rye Bread. Ryan O'Connor says nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong there, my friend. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I think they signed Eric Kush, so shore up that offensive line. Hopefully anything is better than what we currently have. That's where it starts. If he doesn't have enough time to throw, and I believe David Montgomery's still in concussion protocol, might not have him for this game. Really curious to see who's going to be running the ball. A lot of Cordell Patterson, maybe Ryan Nall. Foles needs to throw more on first down. Thanks, Wes, for that comment. Yeah, Wes, it's actually interesting. The Bears are good at throwing on first down, but then it's second and third when they don't want to do that anymore. They like to run it for 2 yards. But yes, I would agree. Throw more, try to open it up, spread it out a little bit, see what you can do against this young secondary of the Vikings. So obviously the Bears are on a 3-game losing streak right now. That's been well documented. The 5-1 start, now to 5-4. What has been the most frustrating part of this team the last 3 weeks? What's been the worst?
Honestly, just the defending the pass rush and not getting anything done on offense. And even when we do, it's, way too late. So I'd just like to see some consistency for once, but I know it's probably not going to happen.
Right. I think that's the name of the game. Consistency. Can this offense put a full game together? Can they score at least a field goal in the third quarter? By God, we're 9 weeks into the season, and this team has 7 points total in the third quarter all year. So let's talk about the rest of the NFL, maybe some brighter spots. I mean, obviously, let's go Bears. Before we do that, big announcement. On Monday, we are going to be doing a special brew party event for Monday Night Football. Joining me before the game at 6:00 p.m. Central Time, the host of the Bear Down Girl podcast, Caitlin Leaner, for the Brew Party pregame show, the pregame brew, as I like to call it. And then after the game, 10:30 Central, or essentially whenever the game ends, Gabe Flayton, host of the North Pole from Review and Preview Sports, will be joining me for the post-game brew, live reactions to the game. We'll get all of our thoughts. Caitlin and I will give you the preview, the keys to the game for each team, what to look for, and Gabe and I will talk about what we just saw. Ryan, you are more than welcome to join either of those broadcasts if you would like. But yeah, had to plug that. Look out for that on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Periscope on Monday starting at 6 p.m. Central Time. Ryan up and on the move in his Brew Party shirt, though. I love that. Rest of the NFL, rest of the NFL Week 10 matchups. So if I'm pulling up the schedule here, starts Thursday Night Football, 7:20 p.m. Central Time. The Colts taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Colts are actually favored by, I think, 1 point right now. It's essentially a pick'em game. Titans currently sit at plus 100 on the money line. And then we go to Sunday. There are 5 early games. We have the Eagles at the Giants, the Jaguars at the Packers, the football team at the Lions, the Texans at the Browns, and the Buccaneers at the Panthers. Then if we go on to the later slate, we have, holy shit, 6 3 o'clock afternoon games. Chargers at Dolphins, fins up. Broncos at Raiders, Bills at Cardinals, 49ers at Saints, Seahawks at Rams, Bengals at Steelers, Ravens at Patriots, and then Monday Night Football, like we said, Vikings at Bears. Ryan, here's my first question. What do you think about this time slate they have set up, the 5 early games and then the 6 late games? Do you like that? Or are you more into the 12 o'clocks, or you like transitioning into more later games?
I kind of like how it's split more evenly. It's makes it a lot easier to follow all the games at once. And then you also, like, once you get into the afternoon slate, you still have, there could be some bad games, but, you're more than, likely to get a whole day of good football. So I kind of like it broken up.
Absolutely. I think that's a good call for sure. The 5 and 5, it just seems more even, especially when you have days like Sundays, like where you'll have like 8 morning games and then just 2 or 3 at night. So that doesn't really make sense. But yeah, I think the scheduling here for this week is pretty good. What you like to see from your NFL Sundays makes it a lot easier to keep up, like you said, especially on Red Zone for Scott Hansen and Andrew Siciliano. So let's move on. One thing I wanted to do before we get into our picks this week, I wanted to highlight some of the best teams in college football and in the NFL against the spread right now. So these numbers are according to teamrankings.com. I want to start in college football. So obviously there are a pretty decent amount of teams that have good enough games played, but Western Michigan is 2-0 against the spread. I know Maction just started. Eastern Michigan also 2-0. Northwestern 2-0-1. Arkansas is 6-0 against the spread this year. Indiana is also 3-0 against the spread. If we're looking at teams that have played a little bit more games, Wake Forest 5-1, Coastal Carolina is 5-1-1, BYU 6-2, Liberty 5-2. Liberty, if you have not watched a Liberty football game yet this year, I implore you, turn it on. Hugh Freeze has got them scoring a lot of points. We saw that upset over Virginia Tech last weekend. NC State's 5-2, Army's 5-2, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, all these teams checking in at 5-2. So those are some of the better teams against the spread. Something to watch for if you are wagering this weekend. If we're going to the NFL, Green Bay, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Miami all have one thing in common, folks. They are 6-2 against the spread this week, or not this week, this season in the NFL. Ryan can tell you all about the Miami Dolphins and their games and wins against the spread. As we said earlier, he's 4-0 when picking the Dolphins. But yeah, that kind of sticks out to me. Cincinnati, I definitely would not think that they would be up there, Ryan. The Giants, Kansas City are 6-3. The Minnesota Vikings are 5-3. The LA Chargers, the 1-score loss LA Chargers, are 5-3 against the spread. The Arizona Cardinals are also 5-3. If we're looking at some of the worst teams in the NFL, Dallas is 1-8 against the spread. Houston is 1-7. The Jets are 2-7, and Cleveland is 3-5 against the spread. Also, Philadelphia, New England, Tennessee, and Jacksonville, New Orleans, Detroit. They're also all 3-5. This is so many numbers, so many teams. I don't know if anybody's even following what I'm saying here. But any thoughts on that? Any teams stick out to you there? Like I said, I was definitely surprised by Cincinnati. Some of these names at the bottom, like New Orleans and Tennessee, I would have thought they would be covering more.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, like you mentioned, the Dolphins are, 4 or 6-2, you said, and then I'm 4-0 on them. So, I'm going to keep tailing the Dolphins, especially this week when they're playing the Chargers, who, as we've mentioned, are terrible over the past 5 years within 1-score games. So I'm taking, the Dolphins the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Another thing to watch for college football, Kansas is 0-7 against the spread this year, folks. They are just a joke of a football program. So might be smart to just pick against the Jayhawks every time. Other notable names there, with not so great records. App State is 1-5 against the spread. Mississippi State's 1-5 against the spread, as well as Memphis. All right, enough about spread talk. Ryan, let's get to our picks for this week. I was 5-3. Ryan was 4-4, but this is Maloney's money line, so I would be remiss not to let Ryan go first. Give me your favorite of the week, buddy.
Oh, you're so polite. Yeah, like I was just talking about, fins up, baby. I'm going Dolphins -1.5 versus the LA Chargers at -106, or -110 either way. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure the past few times that I've picked the Dolphins, they've been the underdog. But I like them this week as the favorite.
Sorry, I picked the wrong time to pick that up. For those listening, I just decided to drink a beer in the last half a second Ryan was talking. But yeah, so like you said, I think you had it, -106. So I actually have the Dolphins later on my card. I'll give it out now. So this is one of my general picks, the Dolphins -1.5. The odds have moved up to -110. I guess that could vary depending on what sports book you're getting this from. But yeah, we're both going to lock that in. Dolphins -1.5 versus LA Chargers. We just said it. They're 6-2 against the spread this year. 4-0 when Ryan picks them, so I have to ride that for sure. I'm going to go to my favorite of the week. I'm going to take the Saints -9.5 versus San Francisco. San Francisco is incredibly beat up this season. Their IR report is almost just as long as their active roster, it feels like. So yeah, I'm going to take the Saints. I think they can easily win this game by 10 points. Saints back at full strength. Kamara, Sanders, Thomas, Breeze. I like what the Saints are doing. I like them by 10 against the San Francisco 49ers this week. Ryan, your Scooby-Doo underdog of the week. Ryan, 10-4, picking his underdog of the week.
Yeah, this week I'm going to the Seahawks +2 at LA Rams. I'm not really too sure why the Seahawks are the underdog in this matchup. I think they're definitely the better team. But, it'll be a good game, I think. I just think Seahawks will win that, so I'll take them +2.
Absolutely. We've said it the past couple weeks. The underdogs of 2.5 or less, they're hitting at a rate of over 84%, or I don't know if it's over. It was 84% 2 weeks ago. I have not checked the numbers since, but I still like you for riding with that. I do believe that the Seahawks are like 33-50-3 or something around that range against the spread coming off a loss. That's something to watch out for. I really wanted to take the Seahawks this week, but now that you've picked them as your underdog, I'll have to take it privately. Thank you for that, Ryan. If we're going to my underdog of the week, this line is kind of curious to me. I don't know if it's a trap and there's something I'm missing here. Bills +2.5 versus Arizona. We just saw what the Bills did to the Seattle Seahawks last week. And we saw the Arizona dropped a game to the Dolphins. I think this is going to be a really good one, though. Buffalo goes to Arizona. Kyler Murray has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. I'm saying that over 500 rushing yards and 1,200 plus passing yards. He's doing great. Josh Allen having a resurgence of late. It wasn't like he was having a bad year, Ryan. Just a couple games where he needed to be better, needed to show that he was a little bit more mature. And he didn't. He still turned the ball over, still fumbled through an interception. The Bills lost those games. But I like the Bills to cover 2.5. Just like I said, underdogs to 2.5 or less, hitting at a rate of 84%. Give me Josh and the Bills, even though I've said to you multiple times, Ryan, don't let me bet. Don't let me bet on the Bills anymore. I'm not fucking betting on the Bills. But here we are. All right. Let's move to our overs of the week. Ryan, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I got the Bucs Panthers over 50.5. I think the Bucs, coming off of that sloppy performance last week, are going to kind of come out hot. I know Tom Brady's pissed off, so I think he's going to be good for a few touchdowns this game. And I don't really hate the Panthers either. I think they're kind of a little, shaky at times, but I think they can score 51 in this game. So.
Yeah, I like that as well. There's no way Tom throws 3 interceptions again
that was like a career worst game last week.
Really? Like, honestly, off the top of your head, can you think of a game where he has looked worse than that?
No, not really. Probably when we were like little kids at the beginning of his career.
Right. Like, that's just something you just don't see anymore. Yeah. I actually turned that game off at halftime.
Yeah.
1-0. I actually started playing Madden. I was like, dude, I can do better than this, Tom. Let me show you a little something. But yeah, Panthers and Bucs over 50.5. I think they could both easily score over 24 points. But, let's talk about the Panthers last week against the Chiefs real quick. They weren't in control, but they were by no means getting blown out. They were in the game the whole time. They do end up dropping it. And Christian McCaffrey sadly back out at his first game back, injures the shoulder. What do you think of the Panthers last week? I think you said it before. They're like a good bad team.
Yeah, no, they're like sneaky good.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good game, but like that's kind of why I like this over in the Bucks Panthers, because I think the Panthers can score when they want to. And like I just also mentioned, like I don't think Tom Brady's going to have a bad game 2 weeks in a row. So, but yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I think it will probably be within a score. So, looking forward to it.
Absolutely. That'll definitely be one to watch this weekend. Can Tom rebound? His offensive weapons had to be pretty frustrated after that last game for sure. Antonio Brown, now a member of the Bucks. How much do we see him involved this week? Is he going to be able to bust out and make a big play? Do they go to their bread and butter, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans? Let's move on to our unders of no, I didn't even give my over. Getting ahead of myself again, Ryan. What am I doing? My over of the week, I'm going back to Miami and the Chargers over 48.5. I think this is an easy over pick here. Life's too short to bet the under in the first place, but 48.5 for these teams with what we saw Tua do last week, and it's not like he was super impressive in his first start, but their defense was able to put up points for him. And the Chargers, they had that close loss to the Raiders last week. I think Justin Herbert is sneakily one of the better quarterbacks in this draft class for sure. But I like that to go over 48.5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, Ryan, the man of many words. Our unders of the week. Maloney's money line, week 15. Ryan, you have the floor.
Yeah, my under is going to be Texans Browns under 48.5. I'm probably not going to watch much of this game. I don't really think it's going to be a good one at all. So I'm looking for a slop fest. I don't see many points being scored in this game.
We saw the Browns and the Raiders a couple weeks ago have that 12-7 game or whatever the hell it was. I don't think that's a bad pick. The Texans haven't looked great. The offense is not bad. I think they are without David Johnson now, but how much does that really hurt?
Yeah.
Just let Deshaun throw the ball, baby. Texans Browns under 48.5 is going to be Ryan's under for the week. We're going to move on to our locks. Unfortunately, both of us missed on our locks last week. If we're looking at our records through 14 weeks, Ryan is 8-6 when picking his locks. And surprise, surprise, I'm also 8-6 when picking my locks. Not bad there. That's like plus 4 units if you combine it on our locks of the week. I'll take that any day.
Absolutely. Did you give your under?
Fuck, dude. I'm ahead of myself again, bro.
You're too excited, man.
I'm too excited, Ryan. UW under 54. Michigan, Wisconsin under 54. Michigan has not looked good all year. Wisconsin has played one game. They haven't played in like 3 or 4 weeks. Give me the under in that game. I love Big Ten unders. I know life is too short to bet the under, but in college football, that is the league to take the unders for sure. I'm going to take my chances with this one. I know it didn't work out last week with UNC Duke, but UW under 54, college football, Big Ten unders, baby.
A lot of punts.
A lot of punts. I want punts from the other team's 45-yard line, Ryan.
Yeah.
Now we go to the locks of the week. I promise the rest of this, I'm not going to get ahead of myself, Ryan. You hold me to that.
All right, I will.
All right, you go ahead. Your
All
lock
right,
of
yeah.
the week.
My lock is going to be the Steelers minus 6.5. Pretty sure they might have been my lock last week against the Cowboys, and that failed. But I like them to win by a touchdown against the Bengals. Joe Burrow obviously is looking great this year, but it's not really a good team. And I don't know. I just like the Steelers that are playing pretty out of their minds right now to win by a touchdown.
Does it concern you at all that Joe Burrow needs one more game over 300 yards to break the rookie record? The Cincinnati Bengals are 6-2 against the spread, Ryan. And the Steelers didn't cover last week. And Ben Roethlisberger is on the COVID list.
No, doesn't bother me. Looking forward to bounce back.
God, the fucking stones on this guy, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta love it. That's what we come here for. Maloney's money line, week number 15. Ryan's riding with the Steelers after they don't cover last week. Steelers -6.5 versus Cincinnati. My lock of the week. I'm going to college football. Shout out to Corey White. Coastal Carolina -11.5 versus Troy. Corey sent me 8 picks for Saturday that he has, and I'm going to take them all. Add them all to my card. This was one of them. I have one more coming later from that as well. Coastal Carolina -11.5 versus Troy. Coastal Carolina is undefeated on the season. Troy is 4-2 and 2-2 in conference play. They did have a good game 2 weeks ago, 38-10 over Arkansas State, but they picked up a loss to Georgia Southern last week. I believe it was 20-13. Don't quote me on that exact score. But yeah, Coastal's been rolling almost everybody this year. I like them by at least 2 scores here for sure. Yeah, I'm riding with the chance. Coastal Carolina -11.5 is my lock of the week in honor of Corey White.
Love it.
Love it. So it's that time for general picks. So I already gave out one general pick. That was the Dolphins -1.5, which is also Ryan's favorite. So you have 3 picks left to give out. I have 2. Let's start with you.
Okay. Yeah, my first one, I'm going to go Ravens -6.5 at New England. I don't like the Patriots. They almost lost to the Jets. So I feel like the Ravens should probably be favored by a little bit more in this game. So, yeah, I'm riding with the Ravens against the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the Ravens. That's been the narrative with this team is they'll beat anybody that is lower than them. But when it's a big game, that's when you start to question Lamar and the rest of this team. Ravens -6.5 versus the Patriots. Questions for the Patriots. Is Julian Edelman playing? Who the hell does Cam Newton have to throw to? It struggled to beat the Jets on Monday night. That was rough. I mean, they do get the win by the field goal, but the Jets were in control of that game almost the whole time. My second general pick, I'm going to go Arizona, Buffalo over 56.5. I'm expecting a lot of points in this game. I know both defenses are good, but I also love what these quarterbacks have done this year. Kyler Murray has found a true number one.
Sorry.
Kyler Murray has found a true number 1 target in DeAndre Hopkins. Best move that the Cardinals could have made was bringing D-Hop in. And then if you're talking about Buffalo, they bring in Stephon Diggs, and he's been great in his own right for the Bills. Who's going to take care of the ball? Which defense can force turnovers? I think that's going to be the key for victory in this game, but I do like it to go over 56.5. I'm really hoping for a shootout. Let's go back to you, Ryan. You have another general pick for me.
Yeah, I'm going to first pick for college football. I'm going Miami, the U +1.5 at Virginia Tech. So, yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 on Miami picks this weekend.
Let's go.
The U and the Dolphins. I'm going for it.
Yeah, I didn't understand this line when it came out. I don't get why Miami are dogs here. I'm going to take Miami money line. Actually, last I saw it was like -102, -106 in that range. I don't have that on my card, but I'm going to bet that privately for sure. Got another listener comment here. Kick Lucas Wilson out of the chat. Saw he was talking shit. Also, Bills by 1 million. Thank you, Grant Baker, checking in. One of our best guests, one of our best listeners, our best listener commenters, Brew Party commenter, Grant Baker. So my last general pick of the week, I'm going another Corey White pick here. Indiana -7 versus MSU. Michigan State is not a good football team. Sorry, Peyton Woods. Indiana's 3-0 against the spread, 3-0 on the year. Best team they've had, and I can't even tell you how long. Michael Penix Jr. is legit. I like Indiana to roll here. Of course, as soon as I say that, probably won't happen.
We'll see. I believe.
We'll see. One of the college football games actually getting played this weekend. So, Ryan, your last pick is also college football, also in the Big Ten. Hit me.
Yep, I'm going Wisconsin -4.5 at Michigan. I think Wisconsin is a far better team than Michigan. I feel like Michigan's usually, like they're okay, but pretty average. And I think Wisconsin is a good team, but obviously they aren't going to win the Big Ten because of Ohio State. But anything's possible. So I like Wisconsin in this game.
The COVID layoff doesn't concern you for the Badgers?
No, I mean, they're probably practicing somewhere and still getting their reps and everything. So, yeah, I don't know. I know we're hoping for a lot of punts in this game, but maybe Wisconsin can get up by a couple touchdowns and just coast the rest of the way.
Give me a 24-20 score.
Yeah.
We'll be okay. Grant Baker checking in again. Hawkeyes about to go on a roll. Eye emoji, eye emoji, eye emoji, eye emoji. They take on Minnesota and PJ Fleck, who read everybody poops to his roster after the first 2 losses of the year. I don't know. He's a weirdo. They play on Friday when this drops, I believe. Iowa's currently 4.5-point favorites. Hammer the Gophers in that game. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Minnesota's defense is really bad, but Muhammad Ibrahim is one of the best running backs in the college football landscape, and he's just been really, really good to start the year. So this has been Maloney's Money Line, week number 15. We'll update the records for you guys really quick. 124, 90, and 3 plus 25.3 units. Looking to keep the winners coming for you. If you put $100 on each one of Ryan and mine's bets, God damn it, Ryan and I's bets, you would be up $2,531.97. That's plus 25.3 units. We are hitting at a percent of 57%. I'm 61-47-1. Ryan is 63-43-2. Some stats that kind of stick out. We hit on it earlier. Ryan's underdog of the week is 10-4, heavily hitting on the Miami Dolphins at 4-0 there. My lock of the week is probably my best category at 8-6. But I mean, like I've said earlier, that's the ones you're supposed to fucking get. It's your lock at 8-6, not even that great. We're looking up. We're still looking pretty good. 5-3 for me last week, 4-4 for Ryan. Closing thoughts on this episode, the first standalone episode of Maloney's Money Line on the Brew Party podcast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend, hoping that we can get to, well, at least personally, me get to plus 20 units. That's the goal for this weekend. I don't know if it'll be done, but I'm pretty confident in my picks, so bear down.
Bear down, Bears Vikings on Monday. Make sure you tune into the pregame brew at 6 p.m. Central with Caitlin Leaner from the Bear Down Girl podcast. And then the postgame brew, 10:30 p.m. Central with Gabe Flayton from the North Pole. This has been Maloney's Money Line on the Brew Party podcast, episode number 35. If you're confused, Wednesdays we will be dropping interviews. Fridays will be Maloney's Money Line. 2 episodes a week now. Double the Brew Party. Please like, rate, review, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend, share, retweet. Takes 1 second. Really helps me out, helps Ryan out, helps the whole Brew Party crew out. Join the party. Become a party goer. Always love more people. If you see me around, talk about the Brew Party or ask me about the Brew Party. I will light up like a Christmas tree, which we already fucking have up in our house.
I got some decorations up
in November. Kaylin could not wait to do that. But I'm rambling. Please. We are now on Pandora, by the way. Brew Party Podcast is a Pandora podcast. Only took us 8 months, but we got to prove, Ryan, we're in there. So find us on Pandora. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Or www.thebrewpartypodcast. You could find us on Facebook at The Brew Party Podcast, on Twitter and Instagram at The Brew Party. We are on YouTube as well. Find all of our Maloney's Moneyline episodes on YouTube. That's youtube.com/The Brew Party, or just search The Brew Party when you get to YouTube. So episode 35, I'm Andy. He's Ryan. Big weekend coming up. Bears Vikings on Monday. That's not the weekend, I know. But, even with the COVID cancellations, oh my God, how have I not brought this up yet? Stop everything. Illinois and Rutgers this weekend, Saturday at noon. Clear your calendars, folks. Tune into the Big Ten Network. Rutgers is a 6.5-point favorite. The first time in program history that the Rutgers Scarlet Knights are a favorite going into a Big Ten game. And I hate to say this as an Illini fan, but I would hammer that. I think they win by at least 2 touchdowns. It's just rough, but I can't not mention that on the podcast. Anyway, I'm rambling. This is too much. 40 minutes, the perfect amount of time. Maloney's money line. Follow us, fade us. We don't give a fuck. Either way, we're going to win. We're going to count our stacks or cry when we lose. Just kidding. We don't cry. Go Dolphins. Go Hurricanes this week. Ryan's going for the Miami sweep. I just want to have a good time.
Same here. Let's go Tiger.
Yeah, let's go Tiger. Awesome first day of the Masters after that rain delay. Let's fucking go Tiger. I got a $5 bet to win 200 if he pulls it out. He's prowling after the first day. All right, we're getting out of here. This is the Brew Party Podcast, episode number 35. Andy Hopper, Ryan Maloney, Maloney's Moneyline, week 15. Like, rate, review, comment, subscribe. We're out.